Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Meet the Team series by OrthoLite. And I'm delighted to introduce Marty Greenwald to you today, who serves as OrthoLite's Global Sales Director. Welcome to the show, Marty. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're such a great resource, and I'm so excited to get into the nuances of you leading our awesome global sales team. But before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about your career highlights and how you found OrthoLite?
Yeah, so early on after graduating from college, I always kind of knew that I wanted to pursue a career in sales. And so from the very beginning, after graduation, that's kind of the path that I went down. I ended up working for a couple of companies in Boston that were not in the footwear space, and then kind of found my niche with a company called McNeil Engineering, who is a global component manufacturer of golf cleats and spikes and so forth. And spent 23 years with them growing their business and leading their sales teams. And then company was sold probably 6 years ago, and had an opportunity to come to OrthoLite, and one of the best decisions that I've made in my career, to say the least.
That's awesome. What were you excited about in terms of joining OrthoLite as the leader of our sales team globally?
Well, both companies were very similar that they are best in class. McNeil is the leader in what they were doing, and OrthoLite has always been the leader in the insole sock liner space. I did meet Glenn Barrett a few times over the years, and I was excited to potentially come work for him and his team.
Yeah, he's a great leader. Every single person I've interviewed so far for our Meet the Team with your colleagues on sales have great stories to share about Glenn. And he is truly not only incredibly fun to work with, but just it has a way of really looking around the corners and helping us stay positioned as the category founder. You know, like we literally created this category, and then being able to innovate and continue to hold on to that. And then plus what we'll get into a little bit later in terms of our commitment to sustainable product and process. So I would love to get a little bit of a take from you in terms of like the team that you lead. Tell us, what is your favorite part of that? What was it like to meet them and be like, hello, I'm your new leader? Like, I'm just so curious to hear how all of this unfolded for you.
It's really incredible because, typically when you come into a new organization, inevitably there's going to be changes, and there's going to be people that aren't a fit, or you need to make a change for whatever reason. And it was truly incredible that I came in, that the team that was in place was just fantastic. I like to refer to them as all-stars, to be quite honest. They all have an incredible footwear background, whether it's in development or design. A good majority of the team played a lot of athletics growing up in high school and in college. And so we really have that team atmosphere where everyone works well together. Everyone will bounce ideas off one another, what's working, what's not working, and so forth. So again, just an incredible group of people that report to me, and really work well with everyone on our team, which is exceptional.
It is. I understand that one of your favorite sports is going to visit customers with your sales team these days.
Absolutely. One of my favorite things in the selling cycle is obviously to be in front of the brand, listening to what their needs are, and trying to find out how we can best service them with our products and really make their footwear more comfortable, better performance, and also have a sustainability flair to it as well.
And I'm curious, like as you came into this from a 23-year career with another company, I would love to have you just shed some light on maybe how you were impressed with our team's relationship level and the way that our customer partners look to our sales team as almost guides through the process of development and design.
Yeah, it's a very unique selling cycle. And again, a lot of the people on our team have incredible resumes where they were working for some major brands on the development or design side. So they absolutely know the process on going from concept to commercialization on a new product, and know how to work with brands on development of these products. And really, my role and responsibility is to guide them more on the selling side as well, because they've got that development and design background that's a strength for everyone. So it's very unique in that regard.
And as I'm doing a little bit of light math in my head, Marty, you obviously like took this role and had probably a couple of years that you would say were maybe normal looking in the rearview mirror now, but then you had to deal with the global pandemic. And we're obviously a global company. We have, 6 manufacturing facilities on all of the continents that are most important in footwear. And I'm curious if you can just talk with us about what it was like to lead the team through the shock and awe of that, and be sure to share just things you're really proud of.
Yeah, it was really incredible because prior to the pandemic, there's always talk of risk mitigation and brands, not wanting to give too much business to certain suppliers or one supplier and so forth. And I would say that one thing we've learned during the pandemic is that we've pulled holes in this whole risk mitigation thing, because OrthoLite's a global company. We manufacture and foam in all locations: Vietnam, China, Indonesia, Brazil, India, Spain. And so what was unique for us is when early on China was shut down, we didn't miss a beat. We were able to continue to foam and make our products in Vietnam and support factories all around the world. So it's incredible, the response that we had during the pandemic. We've grown through those 3 years, and we continue to invest back into the business for automation and so forth to improve our process on how we do things. So there was a lot of great lessons that were learned during this time frame. That's for sure.
It prepares us for the headwinds that are still, happening. And I'm curious, as the leader of the team, did going through that, the pandemic and kind of the subsequent quote recovery we're still in, did that change any of the values that you have, or, as the leader of our global sales team?
I don't think so. Our team did a tremendous job of pivoting, and Zoom became really our best friends. And there was a lot of times spent on Zoom with brands, and I think it was unique in the sense that brands really wanted to get together more, even though it wasn't in person. It was via Zoom. So we continued to be reactionary and provide great service and great product and great development along the way, even doing it remotely, if you will.
And I know, just from the conversations we've had here and there, you really love traveling and being in front of customers with the sales team. And I would love for you to just give some highlights around some of the trips you've been taking recently. It seems like things are really picking up, and we're recording this in early February 2023 together. Just maybe give us a line of sight into what that's like. Like, has that part of the business changed in terms of traveling to to see our customers, or having them travel to see our factories? I'm just curious to hear what your take is on that.
Yeah, so one of the things that came out of the COVID pandemic was, after about 6 months, a lot of my friends and family were like, "You must love it. You're not traveling. You're home and all that." And after a while, I was like, "Wow, this is miserable. I need to get back out on the road." And when you do something for close to 28 years and you're used to traveling and so forth, it becomes a way of life and so forth. So, the break was okay, but when things started to pick up and we were traveling again, that was very welcoming for me. And I do feel like we're kind of getting back to the norm of traveling. I think brands and customers want to be seen and want to see you and interact in a one-on-one basis, if you will. So, I've been traveling quite a bit over the last 4 to 6 months. All great places: Milan, Italy. I was in Switzerland, Maui. A lot of international and a lot of domestic travel as well. Q1 of this year is going to be busy as well. We're heading back over to Milan for the Linea Pelle show. And then we've got the Northwest Materials and the Northeast Materials show back to back when we get back. So it'll be busy for the month of February and March, which is great.
How would your team characterize you as a travel partner or travel companion, Marty?
I would like to think they would say that I am a an easy travel companion or partner. But I do want to make sure that we're eating well at good restaurants, so they know that about me.
That's awesome. Good. And then I'm also curious, you've been in footwear for a long time. I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about some of the major takes you have as we're, definitely into Q1 here in 2023. It seems like every report I read about the global economy, it's different every week, right? But how is it just from like that front row seat you have into like footwear manufacturing and innovation and just how brands are continuing to migrate through this? I know you have some thoughts on this and how it's changed.
Yeah, so I've been fortunate. My career in footwear has always been on the manufacturing side, as a component supplier who were both best in class, if you will. So I've always taken to manufacturing. And, my previous company, we were doing injection molding and metal fabrication and so forth. So the brands were very, very similar to what I was doing, just a different component in the shoe. So I think the big challenge now, obviously, is there's a lot of inventory out in our space, if you will. And, we just kind of see it as being flat for the first 6 to 8 months. And then hopefully as that inventory works through it and hit retail, then Q4 will pick up and get us back to a little more normal, if you will.
And as you've, seen this change and there are different stakeholders around the table in your meetings, I'm sure some of those are sustainability oriented people. I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about what you are proud about with OrthoLite in terms of being able to really show up and I think be a great partner to brands as we continue to all walk through this journey together toward just having less impact as a global footwear industry.
Yeah, so the amazing thing was when Glenn Barrett founded this company, he really was about sustainability from day one, which is incredible to think about that 26 years ago, where this definitely wasn't in the forefront of a lot of footwear brands. And during his travel to Asia and so forth, he saw a lot of rubber tire waste and so forth, and just came up with a great idea of, hey, what can we do to make the environment better? And started using the rubber into our formulation. So the original OrthoLite formulation from 26 years ago had 5% rubber regrind in it, and pretty amazing that he started that. And so, the big thing for me being part of OrthoLite is that sustainability has always been a focus. I've learned early on, as I go into completing my 5th year, that the 3 pillars of OrthoLite are comfort, performance, and sustainability, and that's something that's never really lost focus on what we do. Our foam that we manufacture has eco percentages of 5% all the way up to 98%, and some in between. So it's pretty incredible that we've got a lot of different varieties and sustainable solutions for brands that they can adopt for their comfort and performance into their footwear.
And not to mention, as we've talked about in previous conversations, the certifications that our team, abroad, who really, I think, just strives for operational excellence in everything they do. We've been learning more and more about the gains that they're making in terms of the Higg Index. We're a leader across footwear in that. And I'll put links into our show notes so everybody can explore that if they want to learn more. But that's just, I think we're making our customers' jobs easier because we continue to innovate with sustainability, but we also work to get those certifications and continually be raising the bar with Higg and footwear.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty incredible. I think what's going on in our industry now is that brands want validation of what you're saying is actually what you're doing and so forth. And so OrthoLite has been at the forefront of this. We've been working with Higg for well over 3 years now to improve our process in all of our locations. And that is quite frankly something that we're very proud of. Our Vietnam facility has the highest score of 95% in all of footwear. So that's tremendous. And other locations are vastly improving as well. I think a big thing for us too was the recent certification of GRS. That's been a huge accreditation for us. We've got that in Vietnam, recently just got the China location, and all of our other local facilities will have GRS as well. And again, it ties back to brands looking for this certification and validation of, hey, you're out there promoting this, but can you back it up and can you provide us with that information as well? And again, sustainability is always at the forefront. We've got recycling facilities at a lot of our locations. That'll be something that we will continue to do as we move forward in our other locations. I think a big thing too that OrthoLite is a global company, right? People think of it as one brand, but we have so many locations around the world. And one of our goals is to be able to foam and make our products in all locations where we are. So we're not reliant on shipping from China or Vietnam or other locations. So our goal over the next 12 to 18 months is we'll be foaming in our India location. We'll be foaming in our Indonesia location. We actually just broke ground in a new location in Central Java. There's a lot of footwear moving there. And so we've got a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility going in there, and we'll be foaming and recycling and so forth to use our own way. So it's exciting to see what we're putting back into the business as we move forward.
And just the speed with which we're doing that. And, I had a question here, but I think you just answered it. And that is, what's your pinnacle definition of being a great partner to our almost 500 brand partners? And many of those have been with us for our entire 26-year history. So if there's anything you want to add to that in terms of, kind of coming through all the changes, seeing all the investment that's being made in our global manufacturing facilities that are vertically owned and integrated, or owned and vertically integrated, excuse me. But just out of curiosity, is there anything that would change in terms of your pinnacle definition of being that partner today?
I think our brand partners look to us, and again, I hate to, we're very transparent on what we're about. We're about comfort, performance, and sustainability. And so these brands know that they can rely on us. They can come to us and work on development for future programs and check all those three boxes that they're working on. I think the other thing too is our global footprint. We can manufacture in all several locations. We're not relying on one area to produce our material and ship from there. We've got a big local for local push where factories located in India, we're going to foam, process, and ship from there. It's not going to come in from a different location. So I think it takes a lot of risk out of the equation for brands when they choose to work with OrthoLite. And I think that's a great thing.
It is. There's a whole moving definition of risk today. And anything that we can do to, de-risk the business and almost look around the corners with our brands as more comes to the forefront, I think that to me is kind of what makes us all on our toes, what makes us all get out of bed in the morning to be that partner that truly doesn't exist anywhere else. It's really exciting, and to see the dedication, it's amazing of this team.
It's incredible. As we recently wrapped up our 2022 numbers and so forth, and it was mind-boggling that we manufactured and shipped just under 600 million pairs of insoles and sock liners, which is incredible. There's all the supply chain issues and logistic issues. It just says a lot about our performance and how we do things as a global company, to be honest.
It's true.
And that I'm very proud of.
Mm-hmm. So guess what? We get to go into the lightning round now, which is fun because it you have to give the answer that kind of comes out right away when I'm asking you these questions. And that kind of gives us a great fun look into maybe the Marty that a lot of the sales team sees at the bar later.
I've been known to stop by there, Kristen, once in a while.
Here and there. So who is a person that you admire, like an influential leader that has impacted you?
I would say my father, to be quite honest, came from a big family, 5 kids, and my father worked very hard and to provide for us and do what was necessary. He worked multiple jobs, and he came from an athletic background, so he was always pushing us to succeed and to have that drive instilled in us, and really gave us all our work ethic, to be honest.
That's great. And I'll have you know, every single person I've interviewed on your sales team has mentioned someone in their family as the most influential. And I think that's really cool. So I just wanted to,
It's funny. We've got a very unique culture at OrthoLite, and I do characterize it as family. I mean, it's just incredible, the relationships that we have within the company and so forth. And it's a true family atmosphere, and it's very unique.
It is. Capital U, unique, very unique.
Yes.
Okay. So the next lightning round question. What do you like to do when you're not working?
I'd love to play golf. So every chance that I can get, you'll find me out on the golf course.
Awesome. And what superpower do you wish you had?
I'd like to be able to fly, actually.
Awesome. That's a good one. Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Both, I would say. Yeah, I honestly don't require a lot of sleep, so I'll stay up late and usually get my day going pretty early in the morning.
And then what is your favorite drink at the bar?
I think if you ask my team this, they will know that it's Tito's, or Tito's.
That's awesome. And what's your favorite part of the job, Marty?
I would say the challenges that we're always presented. I mean, it seems every day when we get up, there's something new. It's never easy. It's never boring. And it kind of keeps me going every day, getting up and to face these new challenges. The team that we have together from, sales, marketing, finance, engineering, manufacturing, it's incredible. So I enjoy interacting and working with these people on a daily basis.
That's awesome. And then the last but not least question, what is the most constructive insight that you've learned through your life and career that you'd tell the 25-year-old Marty Greenwald today?
I would tell him to always give 110%. Just always put your best foot forward, whatever you're doing. If you're not putting your full amount of effort and enthusiasm into it, there's really no sense of doing it, to be honest. And I would also probably say, find something that you're passionate about and follow that.
And I think at OrthoLite, it's safe to say we're passionate about being incredible partners to our customer, to our brand partners, but also to each other on this team. And you're a big part of that, Marty, as our leader on the sales team. So thank you so much for sharing your insights here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris, and I enjoyed it.